This special C Sports presentation is brought to you by roadracing.com. If you want to find a league, watch digital racing content, or buy racing accessories, visit them through the link in the description.
Hello everybody and welcome to League Media's coverage of the EDRS Indycar series here at Phoenix. I'm your host, always impartial, aka Immortus Impartial, aka Impartial. Anyways, we're here in Phoenix, Arizona for the Phoenix race, where we're in the seventh rounds. We're in the seventh rounds. Interesting points battle developing between Cam and Drift and Hydrax. Cam and Drift only 4 points in between those two. In warm-ups earlier before the broadcast, Drift did go fastest, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has some pace today. But Cam did qualify pole, so again, it's going to be interesting to see what those two do. Meanwhile, we've got Hydrax 8 points behind those two. Hydrax I don't believe, showed up for qualifying yesterday, so he will be starting from the pit lane. But he has pace. Meanwhile, let's talk about our latest winner. EDP Racing's Drifting Flames. He started P1 last week, and he won, obviously. Currently second place behind Cam. In his previous 5 races, he only started 4 out of those 5, placing third twice. So it's going to be interesting to see how he comes out of today. And as we go ahead and prepared for our session, let's go over the information for today. And this 1.022 mile track, there's 4 corners, a race length of 200 laps, and an average race lap time of 24 seconds flat. Bobcat is right on pace at 24 flat. So I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if he does pretty well here. Yep. Anyways, other than that, right now we're just waiting for the drivers to start pacing. Oh, our live streamer for today is the man, the myth, the legend, Gene CHP himself.
Hello.
How you doing, Gene? How you doing?
Good.
Shout out to him. And then shout out to Finnick, our host and president of EDRS. These two are doing such an amazing job. And Gene, is there anything you want to say about the race? Anything, any hopes, dreams, anything like that?
Well, we're in the second half of the season now. That's we're about to enter now. So, just hoping for a good championship battle to finish off this season. Even though we still got 6 races left still. So Drift has been more or less the class of the field from what I've seen. Cam's they're off on the track now.
Yep, and as we've said, we have 5 people qualifying on pole, qualifying Mr. Cam himself, their points leader at the moment. Right behind him, the number 10 machine, as they go through the pits for a pit limiter test. Right behind him, it's going to be, if I can get that graphic. Right behind him is, behind Cam is Ebb, having qualified just a few tenths slower than Cam. And just for our viewers at home, Meb's not even in the top 3, but he's certainly close. Or is lining back up at the end of pit lane. Meanwhile, we've got Dom qualifying just 6 tenths under racing pace in third. Dom currently sitting 5th in the championship, 22 points behind Cam, the points leader. Red flag is shown. We'll have to find out whether that's just to continue setting up the cars or if there's another reason behind that, but I do believe the former over the latter. So we're just sitting and waiting at this point. In the chat, our drivers are absolutely happy to be on YouTube. See that from Cam. You see that from Dorbu, one of the newer drivers. See that from Crowns, another new driver. Currently on board with the 10, or rather the 13, who is starting in the pit lane. He did not qualify yesterday, so if we go to our starting format, we have the fastest guy qualifying, or the fastest guy going, pole, obviously, and then everybody forms in behind him. After that, everybody who did not qualify is going to have to start from the pits. Your unusual, your funny man, or whoever, you're drifting, that is. They start from the pit lane. They got to wait till every single one of these 5 pass them until they go. And let me go ahead and apologize in advance for my lack of commentary, because I am not the best with play-by-play commentary, but hey, we're going to get through it. Well, let's go on board with Odd 07184. That onboard camera sponsored by Fifth Third Bank. And now they're just pacing. Teal flag rather, is in the air, so we're waiting for pit start. We're waiting for the start of this race. And just a reminder, it lines up. They line up. Cam, Meb, Dob, Blob, Mav, and YTZ at the start of this race. Coming around turn 3, they're going to start to double file. Somebody did dive into the pits there, so we'll see what that's about. But anyways, coming to the restart zone. Purple flag is out. Green flag in the air. What a good start for Cam. Cam able to grow a little bit of a gap before making contact with that wall outside out of one, I believe that was. Right behind, just 2/10 shy. You're gonna see him and Cam start to fight a little bit. But so far, it's been pretty clean coming out of this first lap. Right now, Cam leading the way from Dom, from Lobcob. Oh! Cam's crashed. Ella is out on lap 3. Or race leader and pole sitter out of this
championship leader
and the championship leader automatically is gonna be out of this race for the most part. Able to respawn his car and get it back going. But Dom is gonna inherit the lead. As we've said earlier, Dom is 5th in the championship right now. So it'll be interesting to see him grab a win today. Yes, that's what I said. What I said.
But for the drivers that had started on pit lane, I think they're
Yeah, most definitely. Especially his championship rival. Drift is definitely gonna love that. Right now, as we get the leaderboard fixed again, we're only in lap 4 of this race. As the guys cross the line, the teal flag is gonna be displayed. Drifting currently 5th. He's gonna love that. Just hoping that he can stay ahead of Cam. Drivers are expected to choose their lane in just a second, so we'll be seeing them go back to double file. As we see now Cam on the tail end of the field. He's got a lot of ground to make up if he wants any chance of winning this race here. Not sure why he's on the high side. Probably done that by accident. But as they come to the restart zone, Dom holding the lead. Green flag back in the air. Good start for Dom. Not far behind. 7/10 off the restart. Right now, it's anybody's game. There's a little bit of a pack is forming in the back as well. Somebody's going 3 wide. Somebody's also forced up high. Not sure if they're gonna like that. But as they cross the line, Dom's still in the lead. Quarter of a second clear of Blob, who's catching and right on the rear of that number 99 machine. Dom goes up high, Blob given the chance, and he takes the lead. That's gonna be good that's gonna be good in terms of points for him if he can keep it going for the next 194 or so laps. Probably not gonna be the case, but Blob getting a little bit of a gap now to Dom. Meanwhile, we look at that fifth third bank machine, that fifth third bank number 9. We see they're two wide, 2 rows deep. They're battling. So far, we stay as is. But the gaps aren't too short. That fifth third number 9 machine is only 3/10 from the car in front, that being Dom. But he's gonna get past, and he does a little C-frame coming into the restart zone and through the line. The fifth third bank, as it's reflected, it is up down to fourth. That's it's guy. Get me. Shorbu up to P2, trying to claw his way back. To Blob, if I can get my drivers right. Dom's now fallen to 5th. Last lap, Shorbu just 5/10 lower than the average race pace, as we've said, is a 24 flat. I'm down to 26 seconds on that previous lap.
Drifting hasn't done much so far. We're seeing all these guys move up. There's lots of
I would be surprised. Oh, little bit of a C-frame for Shorbu in P2. But in the front. Meanwhile, Blob, or rather Dom, pitting. We'll see if he goes on to the secondary set of tires or if he stays on those primaries. Blob dominating on the secondaries. Well, so far, dominating. About 2 seconds clear of P2. That gap is going to come up, or stay the same, rather. Unusual. Somebody we haven't talked about at all today. He's up to P3. Him and God 07184 both out 5 seconds back. Dennis drifting in P6. And you've got Metal in P7, Honeyman in P8, and Dom last after his pit stop. These laps are quick, so if something changes, you'll see that on the left side of your screen. Previous lap, Blob with a 24.3. Just about a second. Caution is out. Not sure what that's for. But Blob about a second slower.
Drifting.
Yep, I'm being told that drifting, yes indeed, drifting into the wall. Looks like he's gonna have to go to the respawn zone, or the reset zone rather. Not at all.
And at this point in the season, that is not what a good day is. What he really needed, and he's just not getting that right now.
Drifting. He didn't even start the race from the grid or in the formation. He had to start from pit lane.
He started from pit lane, then basically nothing so far, and now he's crashed.
And Blob, his 2 second gap to P2 forward about 3/10 now. We think that P2 is gonna take advantage of that, trying to get a good start ahead of Blob, or do we think that Blob is going to hold off the P2 and extend that gap again? Time will tell as we wait for pit takers this next pit cycle. We did see some green flag pit stops, so I wouldn't be surprised if nobody takes it. So far, it looks like nobody's taking pit stops. On the backstretch, it's Blob from Shorbu from Unusual. M from that gets up to P4. Metal up into P5. God 07184 down into P6. Funny Man up to P7 and Dom down to P8. Or rather still in P8. Drifting currently P9 after his shunt into the wall. Yep, field flag currently shown. They get up in there to the backstretch. I wouldn't be surprised if the purple and the green flags are thrown this lap as they get up to turn 3, that is. As the finish line is on the apron of turns 3 and 4. Or rather, the restart zone is. Turn 4 and what looks like the front stretch is where the purple flag in the air. So is the green flag. With a good start, and somebody's flipped onto their side. Not quite sure who that is at the moment. Caution comes back out after having just done a second caution. That was metal that had gone onto his side. Drifting, making up one spot in that time because of Metal's mishap. Damn, looks like he's still in P8. Not the race that he wants so far. Looks like, yeah. That is reflected on the leaderboard on the left side of your screen. We did have one driver, or I believe in their backup car. I don't believe they're here today. They do have until about 100 laps to go. We have a few pit takers. Shorbu taking it. Well, we have one. That's going to be Shorbu. They did not speed on pit road. In pit entry, are they going to speed on pit exit, and are they going to have a good timer, or are they going to have a good time on pit road? Oh, Shorbu missing their pit. Green flag back in the air. Dom with another good start. Or rather, Blob with another good start. That's not the best pit call if you're Shorbu. Somebody's going right the lap after the green flag dropped. My PC just went black. I'm not sure what's going on here. We might be in the dark for a second. Yep, we're good now. I do apologize about that mishap. So far, it's been nothing but Blob. Unusual up into P2 as well. So far, 1 second ahead of Unusual is Blob. Unusual looking to close that gap. A second through, I believe that's 5th. Looking to stay together in a queue to catch up to Blob, using that toe from Unusual. Somebody runs high. I believe that's Funny Man. Not quite the line you would want to take in that corner, but that's interesting. Couple of lap cars as well. Are they gonna Are they going to cause issues for Blob, or is Blob going to be able to get past them? The blue flag is waved to those drivers. Blob with a little bit of a C-frame, not going to affect his run.